Welcome to another action-packed episode of Badminton Unlimited. Coming up on this week's show, we review the action from finals day at the Victor Korea Open 2018 and hear from the big winners. Plus, Ireland's European bronze medal-winning mixed doubles pair, Sam and Chloe Magee, share their badminton story.
Everywhere we go, I think people look at us as different, you know. Where do you get a family that has 3 siblings playing professional badminton?
Staying in Ireland, we also look at how the sport is growing through Badminton Ireland's Youth Academy programme. Last week, the HSBC BWF World Tour continued its East Asian tour in the city of Seoul for the Victor Korea Open 2018. And fans at the SK Handball Gymnasium were treated to top-class badminton action from some of the best in the business. Men's singles was the curtain raiser on finals day, and it was a battle between Indonesian stalwart Tommy Sugiarto and Chinese Taipei ace Chou Tien Chen. Both players made a lively start, keeping pace with each other until Chou eventually pulled away in the first game to take a 1-0 lead. World number 14, Sugiarto, was a pale shadow of the player that banished Asian Games champion Jonathan Christie in the previous round, as he struggled to contain his opponent's smashes. Chou, on the other hand, looked comfortable and continued to dominate play in the second game to complete the 21-13, 21-16 victory in 39 minutes, and with it a hat-trick of tour titles in 2018.
We both style like same, many smash, many attack, but today maybe net control, maybe I'm much better, so I have more chance to attack. So in the smash, so I get more points. That's all.
The women's singles final took centre stage next, as Japan's Nozomi Okuhara took on Peiwen Zhang of the United States. Having lost to the Japanese in all of their previous 4 meetings, the record seemed to outline the world number 12's underwhelming challenge in the first game, when Okuhara powered to a 21-10 win. However, an unyielding Zhang regrouped and regained her confidence in the following game to force the match into a decider. An even contest until 11-all, it was the Rio Olympics 2016 bronze medalist Okuhara who began to handle the court conditions better to prevail over Zhang. 21-10, 17-21, 21-16 it ended, as the 23-year-old secured her second title of the year.
タイオープンとこのコリアオープンとツアー500なので、そんなグレードが高くない中で、出場している選手もそんなに強い選手が多くいないので、こういった大会2タイトルきっちり取れたっていうのは自分と同等または格下の相手にはきっちり勝ちきれるっていう力があるっていうところが一つ自信になるなと思います。
Japan was already assured of 2 titles in Seoul, with both the men's and women's doubles finals contested by their players. Ranked 29th on the BWF World Rankings, Takeru Hoki and Yugo Kobayashi made a career breakthrough by reaching their first men's doubles final of this stature against compatriots Hiroyuki Endo and Yuta Watanabe. Hoki and Kobayashi made a flying start to the match, wrapping up the first game 21-9. Endo and Watanabe, however, recovered in the second, fending off their opponent's fast-paced attack to take the match into a third game. The 8 seeds proved unstoppable in the decider as they wrapped up the 9-21, 21-15, 21-10 win. The world number 13 pair thus becoming the first Japanese men's doubles champions at the Korea Open. World number 1's Yuki Fukushima and Sayaka Hirota faced teammates Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi for the 3rd time this year in the women's doubles clash. In a battle of the world's top 2 pairs, it was Matsutomo and Takahashi who prevailed in the end. Fresh from their Victor China Open 2018 win in Changzhou, the Olympic champions carried their fine form into the final in Seoul. After charging to a 1-0 lead, the world number 2 pair used their experience and composure well to keep their compatriots at bay in the second game. The resurgent Matsutomo and Takahashi closed the match 21-11, 21-18 to land their fourth tour crown.
自分たちの地元の日本の大会でやっぱり1回戦で負けてしまったので、すごく悔しい気持ちになりましたし、そこから次の中国ではまずしっかり優勝したいっていう気持ちに切り替えてできたので、最後まさか日本人ペアと3回対戦して優勝するとは思ってなかったんですけど、でも本当に自分たちが3週戦った中で2週目、3週目と優勝することができたのは本当にもしジャパンオープンで負けてなかったらこうやって優勝することももしかしたらできなかったかもしれないので、しっかり反省を生かして2週優勝することができて本当に良かったなと思います。
Mixed doubles concluded finals day, with the young Chinese pairing of He Jiting and Du Yue going up against Danish duo Matthias Christensen and Christina Pedersen in the title showdown. He and Du were hungry to make their mark in their first tour final, and the youngsters got off to the perfect start as they clinched the opening game in convincing fashion. The second saw Christensen and Pedersen blow an early lead as they struggled to counter He and Du's aggressive shuttle drives. The fifth seeds were soon back in the driving seat, powering home with a 21-18, 21-16 victory, their first HSBC BWF World Tour title.
我感觉还是比较兴奋的吧，也比较激动的吧，因为很久就是没有进过决赛赛场，然后体验决赛气氛吧，然后自己这次调整的也还不错吧，我觉得。
The action continues in Taipei this week with the YONEX Chinese Taipei Open 2018. This is Dublin, Ireland. The Republic is still finding its footing in world badminton. But in European bronze medal-winning mixed doubles pair Sam and Chloe Magee, the country is certainly moving in the right direction.
I think for anybody training full-time badminton or training in any full-time sport, the big goal is winning major medals. And for Sam and myself, a big goal was to win a European medal. Even from a very young age, when I started playing badminton with my coach, was write down what's your goal for your career, and it was to win a European medal.
Badminton Unlimited was in the Irish capital, which the brother-sister tandem now call home. Originally from Raphoe in the northern part of the country, Sam and Chloe shared with us how growing up with a competitive band of siblings inspired them to play badminton.
In my family, I've got 5 brothers and 2 sisters. So there's 8 kids in total, and you can imagine that, it's a pretty crazy house. We all have quite a competitive edge, so even the older ones are competitive, and I think that's kind of what's driven us on and made us better, is having older brothers and sisters that just made us want to be better ourselves.
My dad played in a local club and he took us along, and we had that where we just wanted to play against each other and beat each other all the time, so we were always keen to go and play. And it's more of a, you could call it a fluke. We just kind of took it from there, playing against each other all the time, and that was it. It was that competitive age that really drove it on. And now in years to come that we're, there's 3 in our family professional, it's just gone on from that. So now it's a different perspective, but where it used to just be fun, now it's the main topic of conversation in the family.
Sam's very methodical, very tactical, extremely clever player. Probably one of the most intelligent badminton players that we've had going up, certainly in doubles and the mixed doubles. Chloe's got a grit determination that when it comes to 19-all, if I had to pick one player in Ireland to step up and to make a serve and to cut out a shuttle, Chloe would be that person. So they bring the best out in each other. Sam would be calm and thoughtful on court. Chloe would have that raw determination and would be really feisty and really up for it.
As a surprise, I actually first qualified for my first Olympics in Beijing, and then I qualified for London and Rio as well. So that was in singles. I played mainly singles from 17, and I always loved playing women's singles. And I got to a level in the world, maybe 30 or 40 between that ranking, and it was. I think that was my level. I could never really get into the top 30, and that took. My body just wasn't letting me get to the next level, so I decided after Rio that I was going to make a change. Sam and myself were playing mixed for quite a while, even when we were 4 or 5 as well. So we've known each other for quite a while on court, and I decided, we'll give it a go and see how far we can go mixed, and it paid off to be a really good decision.
I have played with Josh in doubles and I've played with Chloe in mixed for most of my career, but I have played with other people. And I think the one big factor is you have such a good trust with family members. You know exactly where they're at, you know exactly what they're thinking, what they're doing. We probably spend a little bit too much time because we're also, you know, if we go for a family, we're with each other, and then when we're training, we're with each other, where if you're playing with someone else, they do their own thing and you just meet up to train and you have a different relationship. So it's a completely different dynamic, but I guess you have to experience it. It's very hard to say either way. I guess you have to experience it to really know what it is. We hired an English coach called Chou Tien Chen, and he's worked in England, Scotland, France, so he's a lot of experience, and he also was a top player himself way back in the day, and he's put a different perspective on our mixed. He's brought his own, which some might call typical English style of mixed, and he wants us to be really structured and controlled on our play, and it's mainly tactical. He's really, me and Chloe were probably a bit all over the place, a bit wild. If it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. Where he wants to put a lot of structure into it and make sure this is how we play when we want to do our thing and we watch our opponents. But our main setup is how we play, what we do, and he really put like boundaries and structure in our training. And I think that is really starting to shine through. I'd say some days he's still scratching his head, wondering is the message getting across. But there's days when it works, and I think that's been the biggest factor for us.
It was the European Championships. We went out there to give our best badminton, and from round one, I think we actually just really enjoyed playing, and we came through, you know, a really tough first round. The second round against the French, we were 3 sets, which was very close. Again, we could have lost that match, and in the quarterfinals, we were playing against a Polish pair, Matuzak and Ziva, who are very well known, and we played them a couple of times that year, and it was very close every time, but we knew if we got our best badminton out, we had a really good shot at getting the medal that day.
When you got the medal, it was such, you know, it was like relief, but disbelief at the same time. It was like, we really won a European medal? And yeah, it was such a, you know, it was just like a roller coaster, the only way I could say it. We were up and down all the time. Excitement of getting the medal, playing a semi-final against Fisher and Patterson, one of the best pairs in the world. Another great experience for us. Everywhere we go, I think people look at us as different, you know. Where do you get a family that has 3 siblings playing professional badminton? And especially in that small town where badminton's in a 1-court hall, you know, it's very small. There's no coach at all there in the town when we grew up. So I think people do definitely look at us and think, okay, wow, what do they do? And they get to travel and play badminton. I think it's hard for people to grasp it, you know, even trying to explain it to people at different times. We play badminton, we get funded to play tournaments, and this, you know, it's definitely a different lifestyle. So I can imagine people have some crazy opinions on how our lives look. I've had a career abroad. I've spent nearly more years away training than I have here, but now we're back in Ireland, and we have our own centre, and we're starting to build something here in Ireland.
We started really well on the last Olympic cycle, and at the end up, you know, we didn't get the results that were even close to getting there. So we know how tough it is, and we know that starting out well isn't enough, that we have to be, over a 12-month period, you know, we have to get 10 good results. If we don't try, we'll never know, and we really want to go out there and give our best badminton. It's like every day we're getting better, we're improving, and if we can keep slowly improving, then by the time the Olympic cycle comes around again, you know, we'll be ready for that. And, you know, we're just in there to give our best badminton, and we know if we give our best badminton, then hopefully that will be enough.
Time for a quick break here on Badminton Unlimited. But stay with us as we continue our conversation with Dan McGee, who's coaching the next generation of Irish badminton stars. And we look ahead to the next stop on the HSBC BWF World Tour, the YONEX Chinese Taipei Open 2018. Earlier on Badminton Unlimited, we spoke to top Irish mixed doubles pair Sam and Chloe Magee. We turn our attention now to their brother, Daniel Magee, a former Irish men's doubles national champion, who's committed himself to the development of badminton in Ireland.
I started my coaching career in 2010. Basically, I was coming to the end of my playing days, so I had to make a choice whether to continue playing and really go for it or get into my coaching. And thankfully, there was a lot of big changes happening in Badminton Ireland, where I got the opportunity to go into coaching as we're going to start a national system back in Ireland, because previously the guys were away training in Denmark, they were away training in Sweden, so we wanted to set up a base at home and try and produce players that could reach Olympic level. I can still remember going into Merino Hall the very first day. So 2012 was the launch of the academy, and since then we've spread a number of academies all around Ireland, and we also have 4 academies in Dublin itself. So we're catering now for 150 players. We have some very good coaches who are Badminton World Federation qualified coaches leading in different areas in Ireland. So Ireland's made up of 4 provinces, and in every province we've got a level 2 Badminton World Federation coach who's taken a cell and then feeding these players into the main system here in Merino and into our national training centre. We've got a group of players that are really committed. We've got that challenge, as you said, about other sports. Rugby is really big, soccer is really big. We've got a number of other sports that we have to compete with, but thankfully we are now starting to get top athletes that we've wanted to get into badminton, because badminton is becoming much more popular. We've got a base of 13,500 members, which is growing every year. Ever since the Olympics in London, we have had an increase in numbers, and thankfully we're getting more and more kids that are really focused on being elite players and really are focused on doing what they can to be the best that they can. We've got players travelling from an hour and a half, 2 hours to get here to train. We've got players who are really committed, training 5 days a week. We've got guys balancing out their studies and then hoping then to go on and continue to play on the elite circuit. I've got multiple goals for the academy, but one of the big things is I want to have more and more academies around Ireland. But not only that, I want to use the coach education system we have to produce good coaches at shuttle time, level 1, level 2, in every county in Ireland. So there's 32 counties, and if every one of those counties have good coaching staff working with young players, producing them, doing the right training with them, then we're going to grow such a much bigger base of players that will filter into our academies. More and more academies growing and then filtering them into our high performance training. Then we can have a more competition with the countries that have bigger numbers playing and competing at a young age. So my goal is to keep growing that and to make our system one of the top in Europe.
My name is Sean and I'm 15 and I've been to the academy for 3 years.
My name's Orla, I'm 16 and I've been in the academy for about 4 years. I really like the sport because it's really fast and competitive, and I enjoy competing in competitions around Ireland. I've been coming here for 4 years and I love how there's a lot of players to play against, and the sparring is really good here. The coaches are really good and I've improved my technique a lot from the coaching.
They helped me a lot to improve in my technique. When I first started playing, I wasn't as good, but coming here made me stronger, and sparring with players here was really good. My ambition is to play seniors for Ireland and hopefully win a national title as well.
My ambition is to play senior for Ireland and maybe play at the Olympics one day.
A Super 750 tournament followed by a Super 1000 event and finishing with a Super 500 tournament. September has been a busy month, and it certainly delivered plenty of thrills and spills. Here are our top 5 plays.
Great shot to retrieve it. Up quickly was the Chinese. Drama here. Missed it.
Goodness, I don't believe it. And another 3 dives in a rally. 4 dives. Gosh, that's a good lift from there. 5 dives. And it's landed in. And close it. Right up on Thailand.
Oh yes, good shot.
This is very well. It's the same rally.
Was extraordinary. Look at that. What a rally. I don't believe it.
Fantastic.
Well, if that doesn't make play of the day, I'll be very, very surprised.
Following 3 hectic weeks of competition in Japan, China and Korea, the HSBC BWF World Tour moves to Chinese Taipei for the last of 4 back-to-back tournaments. In 90 seconds, here's all you need to know about the YONEX Chinese Taipei Open 2018. Held since the 1970s, the Chinese Taipei Open is one of 11 Super 300 tournaments on the HSBC BWF World Tour. The iconic Taipei Arena will once again play host, having been the competition venue since 2014. The Chinese Taipei players will be out in full force at their home tournament, topping the seedings list in 4 disciplines. In women's singles, number 1 seed Tai Tzu-ying, who missed last year's competition, will be eager to reclaim the crown she won in 2012 and 2016. Tai made a flying start to the year, winning 5 out of 6 tournaments. But the world number 1's aura of invincibility has faded a little after crashing out in the World Championships quarter-finals, the second round of the YONEX Daihatsu Japan Open, and the first round of the Victor China Open. Chinese Taipei's number 1 men's singles player and top seed, Chou Tien Chen, will be seeking a 3rd title in a row at the YONEX Chinese Taipei Open 2018. A clear favourite, Zhou has already won 3 tournaments this year in Germany, Singapore and Korea. Chen Hongling and Wang Qilin are seeded at the top in men's doubles. Wang also tops the mixed doubles field. With Li Jiazin, the Barfoot and Thompson New Zealand Open 2018 champions will be looking to bag their 2nd title this season and become the first homegrown pair to win the crown in this discipline. With a host of local and international stars, the YONEX Chinese Taipei Open 2018 is one you don't want to miss.
Welcome to the YONEX Chinese Taipei Open. Oh, fantastic attacking. So many unforced errors. Oh, it's brilliant from Taipei.
Well, that's it for this episode of Badminton Unlimited. Join us next week as we recap the biggest moments from the YONEX Chinese Taipei Open 2018. And we get up close and personal with China's standout men's singles player, Chou Tien Chen, as he reveals his likes and dislikes.
最喜欢吃什么？我都吃了，除了苦瓜、榴莲，我不知道，吃不来。
Meanwhile, you can get the latest news, stories and features on the HSBC BWF World Tour when you log on to the website www.bwfworldtour.com. Bye for now.